All right, good morning. Welcome to this morning's edition to the Solutions for Living, where we present a Sunday presentation to assist you as you move through life and mastery of life. So I'm Greg Stanton, also known as Asar. I'm honored to share this sacred space with you this morning. Whether you're tuning in live or you're watching the replay, I want to acknowledge your presence and your power. You're not here by accident. You're really here because something in you is ready to remember, ready to realign, and ready to rise. So, here at Solutions, we don't just talk about transformation, we live it, we demonstrate it. Yes, demonstration is everything. So, let's take a big breath right here, right now, wherever we are, and be very deliberate of being in this space, choosing to be right here, right now. And let's open ourselves to the deeper truth that today's teaching wants to reveal to you. Yes, to each of you. When I was a kid, I was endlessly curious. I used to play with magnets for hours on end. It wasn't just child's play to me. It was the beginning of my fascination with how unseen forces shape the world. Yes, the world that we live in is not shaped by the things we see. They are shaped by the things that are unseen. And I was fascinated by how the magnets could draw certain things closer, how some objects seemed to leap towards them, while others ignored their pull entirely. And I'll never forget this. No matter how hard I tried, if a magnet or if an object wasn't made of the right material, it didn't matter how much I wanted to be attracted, it simply wouldn't come. That moment never left me. It planted a spiritual seed because later in my life, I realized that this is how the law of attraction works. It's not about what we desire, it's about what we're made of. It's about our mindset, whether it's magnetized to attract or to repel. So that's what we want to look at this morning. So let's start with what exactly is magnetism. So, in today's message, which is entitled The Power of the Properly Magnetized Mind, think about that. The properly magnetized mind. Now, you can have a mind that's magnetized, but it's not magnetized in the way that will give you an optimal life. So, you got to learn how to demagnetize your mind and then to remagnetize it with the proper frequency, the proper voltage, all of those things that come with that. So, magnetism is not just a physical principle. It's a metaphysical one and a bioelectromagnetic one. That's right. I want you to say that word with me. Bioelectromagnetic one. Reason why I'm saying this because I pride myself as being a spiritual scientist. I'm not one that just get all into all of the new teachings, but I want to see what is the science behind it. According to the HeartMath Institute, the heart produces a magnetic field that is 5,000 times stronger than that of the brain. So you got two magnetic fields that I want to focus on. You got the brain, which has a magnetic field, and you have the heart that has a magnetic field. The heart's field is 5,000 times stronger than that of the brain. The heart doesn't just pump blood as many of us think. It communicates, it synchronizes, and broadcasts emotions and intuitive intelligence to the body and beyond. That's why we're a feeling people. We always say, I don't feel this, or I'm not feeling that person, because we're not realizing that we're not operating from the resonance of the brain, but we're operating from the resonance of the heart. However, hard math research shows that when we intentionally shift into a heart centered emotional state, such as appreciation, love, or compassion, and even gratitude, what we do is we create what is called heart coherence. And we're going to see how all this pulls together today. In this state of heart coherence, the heart, brain, and nervous system synchronize. And when this happens, it creates an optimal condition for decision making, health, emotional balance, and intuitive insight. In fact, the heart sends more signals to the brain than the brain sends to the heart. Think about that. The heart actually sends more signals up than the brain sends down. It influences our emotional regulation, it influences our memory, our perception, and even higher cognitive functions. So, in essence, the heart is not just emotional, it is intelligent, and its frequency determines much of what we attract into our field of experience. So, what does this mean? It means this: you are not attracting by effort, you are attracting by essence. Let me say that again. You're not attracting by effort, but you are attracting by essence. The word says, not by power nor by might, but by my spirit. We don't attract what we say we desire. We attract what we believe is possible and what we habitually expect, what we are resonating with already. So this morning, let me anchor this teaching with some scripture. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. We find that in Proverbs 23:7. Now, the metaphysical insight behind this scripture is this: this reminds us that the true thought arises not from the intellect, but from the heart. As a man thinketh in his heart. It doesn't say as a man thinks in his head. It says the scripture reads as a man thinks in his heart. So we're being reminded that true thought arises not from the intellect, but from the heart and the subconscious seat of our belief system. Our life mirrors our heart level convictions. What we see in our lives today resonates with what's coming forth from our hearts. The scripture also tells us in John 4:8, draw near to God or to source, and it will draw near to you. Now, here's a metaphysical insight. Alignment attracts. When your internal frequency draws near to divine vibration, the universe reflects that nearness. So we have to match the frequencies. We have to draw near to the thing we desire. Now, one of my favorite scriptures that is often misinterpreted is the scripture that's found in Proverbs 4:23. And this scripture simply says, keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. It mirrors, your life mirrors what's coming from the heart. Proverbs 4:23, I want you to mark that. It says, keep the heart with all diligence, for out of it flows the issues of life. Now, the heart governs our reality. It guards, um, it has a means of guarding us consciously, choosing thoughts and emotions that magnetize good or magnetize, well, there's really no good or bad. What was showing up in your life is what you're magnetizing. So we have to learn to regulate from the heart and not the head. Too many of us live from the head versus living from our hearts. We don't follow our intuitive selves. We don't follow that nudge. Source does not reside in the head. Source essence is in the heart. That's important. Now, here's the problem. We have a misaligned magnetism. Okay? Our magnetism is often misaligned. Many people are mentally misaligned. Their magnets are attracting what they are praying to escape or the thing they don't desire to experience. You say you want love, but your magnet is fear of abandonment. You say you want abundance, but you're magnetized to guilt and scarcity. You say you want or desire healing, but you're magnetized or you identify with illness, diagnosis, prognosis. Now, the law of attraction is not responding to what you wish, it responds to what you believe is real and what you rehearse mentally every day. The things you rehearse mentally every day in the silence of your mind is what you're going to get, is what you're receiving. It's the mirror of what you're experiencing. Look at the mirror. Come on now. The mirror tells us what we're resonating. So you don't attract what you desire, you attract what you are. Dr. Joseph Murphy, he stands on that. He says you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. So you have to become the resonance of the thing desired. That's important. The heart, another scripture that we must bring into this conversation, comes from Jeremiah 17 and 9. Jeremiah 17 and 9 says, the heart is deceitful above all things. Now, without spiritual awareness, the heart or the subconscious can run outdated emotional scripts. The goal is not to condemn, but to recondition and renew. So we must stop blaming the mirror. You can clean the mirror all you want, but it's what's standing in the mirror is going to reflect from the mirror. So stop blaming the mirror and start changing the image that is being projected, the thoughts that are being projected. So let's back a little bit. In Jeremiah, where it says the heart is deceitful, the scripture also says, and we're going to come to that, that source is going to give us a new heart. The transformation is spoken to in Romans chapter 12. It says, be ye transformed by the renewing of the mind. It doesn't even say brain, but it's renew the mind by realigning your mind with the heart instead of the head. When we are living from the belief that we're human beings, then what happens is we live from the faculty of the brain, the sensory realm. Now, that's not to say that we should discount the sensory realm, but the sensory realm that is ran by the brain is not the realm from which divine creation should be operating from. We operate from the heart realm, and that's important. So here's the solution. We got to properly magnetize our mind. Okay, either your mind is magnetized by the reasoning faculty or your mind is magnetized by the heart faculty. You have to make that decision. You have to do the assessment. It's important for that. There are three key components to magnetizing your mind. The first one, you need to gain clarity of thought. You must know what you're aligning with. What is it that you are aligning with? Clarity is magnetism. Confusion is repulsive. The word confusion, meaning things are not fused. When you are in a confused state, things are not fused, they're all over the place. But when you can fuse all of those thoughts, those neurons, to fire in the right direction, then guess what? When you orient them to true north is the thing that's truly desired. Then there's no longer confusion, but there is fusion. And we have to get that. We get that through being clear on what it is we desire. We're clear on what it is we don't want, but because you become clear on the thing you don't want, example, you're clear that you don't want disease. But you're focusing on, and through the clarity of what you don't want, you're sending the magnetism of disease. Don't focus on the thing not desired, but focus on the thing desired. The scripture, Habakkuk 2 and 2, is a great example. It says in the scripture, write the vision and make it plain. Now, let me break that down for you metaphysically. You want to be clear or have a clear vision which organizes mental energy and informs your emotional magnet. Now, that's the piece we have to understand. Your thoughts dictate how you feel, and how you feel determines what you emote. Okay? So we have to have a clear, organized mental picture, which in turn will inform our emotional magnet. When you got vague desires, it produces vague results. Ask yourself, what are you really asking your magnetism to pull? What are you really trying to draw? What are you emitting? Do you emit the frequency that is the equivalent to the thing desired? Or are you emitting a frequency, a resonance that pushes it away? Okay. If you're worrying, you're pushing it away. Okay. When you decree a thing and know it's going to be that thing, you leave that thing, and voila, it shows up. Now, the second thing is conviction of belief is or your conviction of your belief is the charge behind the magnet. That's why we have to know what it is we believe, because our beliefs dictate the charge. Now, you can have new beliefs that you're trying to orient yourself to, or new truths, but unless you displace the old beliefs, they're running a program. It's important. Without belief, your intentions has no power. So your beliefs have to match your intentions. Okay. So if you intend to do something, but you have a belief that you can't do it, you won't do it. Okay. But if you're like that little engine that says, I think I can, you have a possibility that's greater than the one who says, I can't. So I want you to affirm this right where we are this morning. I want you to affirm. I can divinely wait. I want you to do this. Let me state it once, and then we'll state it together twice. Okay, let's do that. I am divinely deserving. I am already connected to all that is mine. So let's say that. I am divinely deserving. I am already connected to all that is mine. Now, with that being said, the word tells us in the Psalms, in the 37th division of Psalms, verse 4, delight yourself in the Lord. Now we know metaphysically, whenever you see Lord, shift it to law. So it reads like this: delight yourself in the law, and it shall give you the desires of your heart. So we have to have the law operating according to the principles, practicing the principles, finding delight in the practice of the principle, and then it shall, what is the law, shall give you the desire that's coming from your heart. Everything that you have in your life right now is coming from your heart. Got to check your heart out. So to delight is to align. So you got to come into alignment with, you got to come into resonance with. When your inner joy matches divine will. Now, whose divine will? Your divine will. When it matches divine will, desires manifest as echoes of that union. When there is that match, it will echo forth into the fruition of the thing desired. Now, the third thing you want to do. So first you want to what? Get clarity. Secondly, you want to have conviction of beliefs. Okay. And thirdly, you want to have consistency of feeling. Okay. Because feeling reinforces frequency. So you got to have a consistent vibrational frequency running. You can't have various feelings. Today you're feeling joy, tomorrow you're feeling sadness, you're feeling fear. You got to have a consistent feeling that's associated with the thing desired. You can't think wealth today and then be inside of fear or mistrust. You got to hold the vibration of frequency of wealth. And you don't say, like, I don't say that I'm a millionaire. I just say things repeat throughout the day. I'll just say wealth, health, and success. So my mind cannot contend against that, because if I said I am wealthy or I'm a millionaire, my mind would say, well, why you got those stack of bills over there? But if I just say wealth, health, and success, I'm seeding that into me, and I become a vibrational frequency match to that. So you have to delight, or you have to align with the thing desired. When your inner joy matches the divine will, desires manifest as echoes. Remember that? Now that's important. Now we're talking about a consistent feeling, and it reinforces the frequency. That brings to mind Neville Goddard. He tells us feeling is the secret. You cannot say abundance while feeling lack and expect overflow. There's no congruence. Okay, it's not congruent. You want it to be alignment. What you say, you feel it. Okay, the word tells us in Matthew 5 and 8, it says, blessed are the pure in heart. We're talking about the heart math. We're talking about the heart frequency. We're talking about the heart mind. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see, I know we say religiously, God, but they shall see the source. They shall see source. Let me give you some insight. Purity of heart clears your spiritual perception. When your emotional field is unclouded, divine order becomes visible. And once it becomes visible, it becomes livable. Now, remember I said earlier about the switching out of the heart? Ezekiel 36 and 26. Ezekiel 36 and 26, for those of you who have a strong Bible orientation, says to us, a new heart also will I give you, and a new spirit will I put in you. You might say, why is this necessary? Because if you go back to the book of Genesis, where it talk about the descent, the fall, they descended from living from the heart, and they began to live according to the head. They began to allow the things that are found in the intellect to weigh heavy on the heart. So now you have a new heart that's being given to you, and a new spirit that's infused with you. This is what is known as divine reprogramming. Your old magnet may have been built on survival or pain, or it was influenced. Your magnetism, put it like that, was influenced by survival mode or pain of the past. But spirit offers a heart that is tuned to a higher resonance where you can find gratitude. That's why we say things like, all things work together for the good of those who love the law and are called, being pulled, being attracted to its purpose. That's important that we realize that. Your old magnetism is associated with past hurts, past pains, being aligned to the brain and not being aligned to the heart. And that's important. Spirit offers heart tuned to higher resonance. When you live a spiritual life, your heart is attuned to a higher frequency, higher resonance. When you live according to the sensory realm, anything that happens today can affect you today. Now, let's talk about magnetic practice that you can employ, because I'm about demonstrations. The magnetic practice for daily life. Now, here are 3 magnetic practices you can start using today and incorporate in this week. First of all, morning magnetism. Say that with me. Morning magnetism. I want you to start each day with, today I magnetize my mind with peace, power, and prosperity. Okay, say that with me right now. I want you to take your right hand or your dominant hand, whatever is your dominant hand. I want you to place it on your heart. Okay. And I want you to say this with me. Today, I magnetize my mind with peace, power, and prosperity. One more time. I magnetize my mind with peace, power, and prosperity. So when you feel kind of stressed, when you feel kind of like you're wavering or teeter-tottering on the fence, going down that rabbit hole of negative thinking or ruling out the possibility, put your hand on your heart and just say, I magnetize my mind with peace, power, and prosperity. The third thing I want you to do, the second thing this week is mental fasting. I want you to begin to fast from fear based thoughts. Mental fasting interrupts self doubt, it speaks truth in the moment. So I want you, the way you mentally fast from fear is to speak the truth in the moment. Speak the thing that discounts that. And then I want you to have a heart based visualization this week. I want you to take 3 minutes a day to feel your desired state already fulfilled. As Neville would say, wish already fulfilled. Or here we see living as though it's already done, seeing it as if it's already done. When we talk about heart math, it refers to this as heart coherence. So you want to take time to bring your heart in coherence with the thing desired. And here's what's going to happen. It's going to produce a state where your heart and your brain aligns in harmony. Remember, the brain is not as powerful as the heart. The heart is 5,000 times more powerful than the head, than the reasoning faculty. Matter of fact, your heart resonates energy out beyond 3 feet of your body. You can actually, that's why you say you can feel a person when they walk into a room or when you walk into a space. You can feel the energy. You're picking up the heart resonance of those who are around you. And guess what? Hearts don't lie. Hearts don't lie. Babies don't deal with things from reasoning. The first time a baby meets you, don't know anything about you, but that baby may not want you to hold it because your heart resonance isn't the frequency that says to that child, this is a safe, trusting person. And that's why we don't make kids go to individuals they never met that they shy away from in many cases. So I want you to do that 3 times this week. 3 times a day. I want you to feel your desired state already being fulfilled. And this is something that it gives you a resonance it increases your frequency. Now, let's talk about activation as we close this morning in our closing declaration. Okay. Here is your solution. You are not a beggar of blessings. You are a magnet of manifestation. You are not hoping for miracles. You are becoming the frequency that is miraculous. So let's affirm this together. But before I do that, let me say that one more time. You are not a beggar of blessings. So say it with me. I am not a beggar of blessings. I am a magnet of manifestation. I am not hoping for miracles. I am becoming the frequency that is miraculous. There's a difference between hoping and expecting. Too many people are in hope. Okay, hope has no specificity really associated with it. Expectancy has specificity associated with it. Okay, let that seep in. So I want to invite you to say something aloud with me. Okay, I'm gonna say it once, and then I'm going to ask that you repeat it with me. So before we go, let's prepare ourselves for one of the most powerful things we can do, that we can speak affirmations to ourselves. So let's affirm this. I'll state it once, and then we'll affirm it together twice. I am the magnet. I am the miracle. I am the manifestation. 2 times together. Don't be lazy. I am the magnet. I am the miracle. I am the manifestation. So say it like you mean it. Say it like you feel it. I am the magnet. I am the miracle. I am the manifestation. You could drive your car along and you would say that at the stop sign. I'm the magnet. I'm the miracle. I'm the manifestation. I know people are going to look at you like you're crazy, but this is an inside game. Come on, you can't be concerned with how people see you. The most important thing you can have is how you see yourself. So let's go forth this week with a properly magnetized mind. And what does that mean? That means that your mind is magnetized from the heart and not the head. I want you to be ready to attract, align, and affirm the greater good. That's guess what? It's already yours.